Hello everyone. So for today presentation, we from group 4 are gonna present Phonology, the Sun Pattern of Language Part 2. And then this is the names of our group members. So the first we have Dewi Nur Puspitasari, and then Defitri Ramadhani, and Desi Suci Nabila, Gandhik Yanuar Reswara, and Ahmad Sholeh. The first presentation are gonna be presented by Dewi Nur Puspitasari.
So, hello everyone, my name is Dewi Nur Puspitasari. So, now I will tell you what are phonological processes. So, when a child is young, he hears the speech sounds of the language used around him, but he can't yet produce all of them. Children don't sound like adults when they speak, because speaking with all of the sounds of an adult is too overwhelming to a young child's brain. To overcome this, the child's brain creates rules to simplify speech sounds and make words easier. These rules are called phonological processes. For example, sounds produced in the back of the tongue, like k and g, are difficult for young children to say. Many children simply this by creating a rule or phonological processes that says if a sound is produced in the back of the mouth, I will change it to be produced in the front of the tongue, where it's easier. Like k becomes t and g becomes d. This is why it's common for young children to say kitty cat instead of kitty cat. So a person untrained in linguistics might not see any role involved in the formation of words like stick, spoke, and skid. Of course, the non-linguist would not be looking for such a rule. However, the linguist could specify that on the basis of these and similar words in English, any fricative at the beginning of a word followed by a voiceless stop must be voiceless. Other phonological rules specify the system governing the combination of other sequences. They specify whether to add, delete, or change elements in an idealized form to a form that is easier to pronounce or perceive. For instance, we say hum instead of hum because hum is easier to pronounce. Vowels are usually not nasalized in English. However, the M in ham is nasalized. The speaker subconsciously begins to lower the velum, opening the nasal cavity before the M is produced. The result is that the preceding vowel A is nasalized in the process. This process of nasalizing a vowel before a nasal consonant is an example of an obligatory phonological processes, which is my friend will tell you about the detail in the next slide.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Defitri Ramadhani and my student number is 1221112336169. So in obligatory phonological process. Obligatory phonological process is a rule that most native speakers of a specific language apply to make a string of phonetic units easier to pronounce and perceive. Assimilation. Assimilation is the obligatory phonological process that make it easier to pronounce combinations of sounds by making those sounds share a distinctive features that other environments, one of the sounds will not have. There are 4 types of assimilations, such as vowels, nasalization, devoiced assimilation, voiced assimilation, and place assimilation. First, vowels nasalization. Nasalization of vowels typically occurs when the vowel immediately precedes or follows a nasal consonant, such as m, n, and ng. Example, art, mart, at, n, cat, can, cut, come. Now try to pinch your nose with your thumb and index finger to prevent air escaping out of the nose and try to reread the examples. If you did this, you can detect a slight resonance or vibrate in the nasal cavity that begins on the vowel. This is because when the vowels occur in words immediately before a neighboring nasal consonant, they appear to borrow the nasal feature of the following consonant, assimilating this to become a nasal side. And the next one is the voiced assimilation. Lost its voice feature because of a voiceless sounds in its phonetics environment. The diacritic sign is a little circle under the liquids like L, R, and W. It indicates devoicing. The examples are ray but pray, win but twin, right but fright.
Voice assimilation, a sound change in which some phonemes, typically consonants or vowel, change to become more similar to other nearby sounds. As the term suggests, the sound often come to agree in the future voice or voiceless. Sounds such as liquid, R, and the glide, which are usually voiced in English, may be devoiced in certain phonetics contexts. Those contexts occur when the liquid or glide follows a voiceless stop or fricative in the same syllable. A P added to le is pronounced play, but the wording is play. Diacritic indicates devoicing. The following example also show this principle. Pray, but the word is pre, but pray is pronounced pre. Win is still win, but twin is still twin. Right, spelled with y, but pride spelled with y too.
Hello everyone, I'm Ahmad Sholeh and I'll be explaining place assimilations. So, it's regressive place assimilations is a form of pronunciation variation in which a word final alveolar sounds take place of articulation of a following labial or vowel sound. So, as when green boat is pronounced green boat, how listener recover the intended word. For example, green given green has been a major focus on spoken words recognition theories. However, the extent of which this variation occurs in casual and scripted speech has previously not been reported. Two studies of pronunciation variation were conducted using a spontaneous speech corpus. First, phonetic being level that used to identify context in which assimilation could occur, namely when the word final alveolar stop, for example, T, D, or N, was followed by a vowel or labial consonant. Assimilation was indicated relatively infrequently, while deletion, glottalization, or canonical pronunciation were more often indicated. Moreover, lexical frequency was shown to affect pronunciation. High-frequency lexical items showed more types of variation. Second, acoustic analysis showed that these are place of articulation cues of indicated by circumformant variation, nor relative amplitude was sufficient to distinguish assimilated from deleted and canonical variants. Only when closure duration was additionally taken into account were these three types distinguishable implication of theory of word recognition are discussed. Next thing is place assimilations occurs when one consonant's place of articulation becomes identical to that a neighboring consonant. Like in the N offers take place to the place of articulation of a following consonant. Here are some of the examples, which is unpleasant, which has been pronounced by unpleasant. In the month, go man be, which also says month. Engrossed, which goes engrossed, ing or oust. Another example is the phoneme N in the word pan is a voice alveolar nasal, but when it's joined to form the word pancake, many people pronounce the N now as a velar nasal. The is N because it has assimilated to the following vowel sound of the K in the cake, which is pancake.
So hello everyone, my name is Desi Suci Nabila. My student number is 122 111 233 and then 4. So I'm gonna explain about optional phonological processes. So optional phonological processes simply create differences in speech styles. With optional processes, major changes can be made. For example, something maybe becomes something. This contrast involves several differences. And then optional processes may involve change in syllabicity. In the word something, the last syllable may be pronounced as thing or the choice is optional, with the former usually being used in formal situation and the latter in casual situation. And in casual speech, we might also delay sounds such as the unstressed vowel I in readily. The pronunciation becomes readily, or we might do the opposite and insert a sound such as a difficult consonant cluster such as t in athlete may become simpler to pronounce by adding a vowel. Athlete becomes athlete. So I think that's it for our presentation videos. Please to forgive us if we have some misspelled words or grammatical errors. And if you have some questions to ask, please feel free to ask us. And thank you.